Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Okay. There was a narrated hadith from Buraidah radiallahu anhu that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Whoever plays with dice, it is as if he were dipping his hand in the flesh and blood of a pig." So, if we were
Whoever does what?
whoever plays with dice
Ah,
and an item of playing games and stuff,
yes.
Sheikh. Okay. Um, so if we're permitted to play a game with our common people or friends, uh, is it permissible to play such games, but we substitute the dice with other methods, like writing numbers on papers and stuff? For
Okay, I will answer you inshallah. The question is a well-known hadith, and it's an authentic hadith prohibiting playing with dice. And the dice are cubes numbering from 1 to 6, usually used to select a number. So you can pray with them, you can gamble with them in some games. You can play Monopoly, you can play Snake and the Ladder, you can play many games, backgammon with them, because once you toss these cubes, it gives you a number, and according to the number you do your movements, or you win or lose, whatever the game is based on. The hadith clearly prohibits it. Now, the scholars went two different ways. A group of scholars, and this is one of the methodology, is that they follow the hadith as it is. The Prophet says, stand up, you stand up. He says, sit down, you sit down. It doesn't require you to be a rocket scientist to understand this. Other group of scholars said, no, everything has to be logical. It has to have a reason and a justification. So we know that drinking intoxicants is prohibited because it wastes you. It puts you in a condition, in a mental condition that hampers your choice, selection, etc., blah, blah, blah. So everything has to be justified. So what is the justification behind prohibiting playing with dice? Maybe because it was predominantly used for gambling, and this is true. Usually it's used for gambling. Some say because it's a selection of luck, and there is nothing as luck that Muslims rely on. We rely on facts. And other scholars gave different justifications. So those who stick with the hadith, they say, no, dice is haram. But if I were to have a random electronic device, like a computer, and I just push a button, and it randomly gives me a figure. So I program it to give me a figure out of 6, and I multiply that by 2. So I press the button, it gives me 6, 5. I press it again, it gives me 1, 4. And I act upon that. Some say, okay, this is not dice, it's permissible. If a teacher does this on pieces of paper and they make the selection from 1 to 6 and you choose, this is not dice, so this should be permissible. Other scholars said, no, this is like the Jews, when they were prohibited from working on the Sabbath, they started fishing by digging ditches next to the shore on a Friday, so that when the fish comes through the tide on a Saturday, it gets caught up, so they catch them on a Sunday. And Allah Azza wa Jal transformed them into monkeys as a punishment, as mentioned in chapter 7, Surah Al-A'raf. So this is not permissible because you're twisting the rulings and of Allah Azza wa Jal and of Islam. I am not a scholar. I cannot give you a clear-cut fatwa. It seems to me that the dice itself is prohibited for itself. Why? I cannot tell. There is no clear logic, as in the case of intoxicants, as in the case of prohibition of pork, etc. There is a clear medical reason for that, and I relate to that. But what about dice? I don't know. It's like when we say that gold is haram for men to wear. Can we say that because it's expensive, because it breaks the hearts of the poor? You can say whatever you want. But at the end of the day, only gold is haram. I cannot cascade this and say, okay, for me, it's prohibited to wear a diamond ring because diamond is more expensive. No, it's not. It is totally permissible for a man to wear diamonds or rubies or emeralds or whatever precious stones he wishes to wear, because only gold is haram for him. So I am nowadays inclined to say that if it is generated randomly by an electronic device or by pieces of paper, inshallah, this is permissible. Dice as dice is haram, and may Allah forgive us, and may Allah overlook our sins if we made the wrong